Good evening and welcome back to 5th video lesson on electric charges and fields. In previous class we have discussed about principle of superposition and its applications. Today we are going to discuss some more applications of principle of superposition. So as the beginning, let us consider here we have a point charge q and here there is another point charge minus q. So these two will make a system. You see that the net charge on the system will be 0 because plus q and minus q. So now our doubt is whether a system whose net charge is 0, is it going to produce a 0 electric field at a point of interest or not, that we will see. Let us say both of them are separated by a distance, say r. Now let me select a point exactly in the middle and I will call this as point P. So point P is located at distance r by 2 from Q and point P is also located at same distance r by 2 from minus Q. Now yesterday we discussed that electric field is a vector quantity. It has a direction. So the direction of electric field is given as, for a positive charge it is radially outwards and for negative charge it is radially inwards from a given point. What is that given point? P is the given point. So from plus q, let us say this is charge 1 and this is charge 2. From this q, point P is now on the right side. So electric field produced by this charge 1 at point P is radially outwards. So it should be like this. So I name it as electric field due to first charge E1. Now the electric field produced by minus q at point P, it can produce electric field everywhere. Here, above, below and on the top of the board and bottom, back of the board, everywhere it will produce. We are not interested in all points at the same time. We are interested only at point P. So what is the direction of electric field produced by minus q at point P means it is radially inwards. So if you draw a circle, and this distance will become as the radius of that circle with minus q at the center, so it should be radially inwards. So this is E2. Now you can see very clearly that E1 and E2 at point P are pointing in the same direction. So therefore they can be directly added. So though the charges are opposite in sign, though the net charge on the system is 0, it is true that they are not going to produce a 0 electric field. So net electric field at point P, E at point P equals to, let me write it as a vector form, E1 vector plus E2 vector. Now, if two vectors are pointing in the same direction, we have this concept, that is R equals to A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. Now angle between these two vectors is cos theta, let me write under root. So this is E1 square plus E2 square plus 2 into E1 into E2 into cos 0 degree. Cos 0 is nothing but what? 1. So it will be 2E1 E2 will be here, and this is A square plus B square plus 2AB. So this is A plus B whole square E1 plus E2 whole square under root. Now this square and under root will cancel, you will get E1 plus E2. Now just look at this one. The vector concept now is changed into a scalar. Now EP equals to E1 plus E2. So now you can add them. So but you see that Q and Q are equal in magnitude. They are at same distance from point P. So therefore these two will be equal. This will be say 2E. So this is 2 into, how it is 2E means, electric field basically depends on two factors, 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q divided by R square. Electric field depends on the magnitude of the charge. Electric field also depends inversely with square of the distance. If these two factors are same for both of them, then electric fields must be equal. So Q, magnitude is same for both of them. R, distance is same, R by 2 and R by 2. So electric fields must be equal. So this will be 2 into 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q, any one charge, Q divided by square of the distance of point P from any one charge, R by 2 whole square. So this will be 2 into 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q by R square, and this 4 will go to the numerator. So you will get 8 into 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into Q by R square is the net electric field at point P. This is the magnitude of the net electric field. Then what is the direction of this field at point P means it is directed towards minus Q, because both the fields are pointing towards minus Q, so net field. If the values are given as a 5 coulomb and 5 coulomb, and if this is given as a 10 centimeter, you can easily substitute here 8 into 9 into 10 power 9. This is a proportionality constant. 9 into 10 power 9. This is, beside it is 5 coulomb divided by R, nothing but 10 centimeter. So the 10 into 10 power minus 2 whole square converted into meter. You will get the answer. So this is the general concept how to make the electric field calculation at a given point. Another example let me give you, that we have an equilateral triangle of side L, and here there is a charge Q is placed, and at other vertex equal magnitude of charge is placed, and you need to calculate what is the net electric field available at this point. Let me name this charge as A, and this charge as what, B, and this corner as what, C. So what is the net electric field available at point C? Then this Q will produce electric field at point C radially outwards. Where from radially outwards? From here, from here, from here, from here, from here. Where should from I take? You should take from the point of your interest. What is the point of your interest? Point C is your interest. Therefore, from point C, you should draw a vector. How long I should draw? How big the vector should be? It should be like this. So within your scope, you draw it. So this electric field due to charge at B. So I will write as EB. Now, at point C, Q also will produce electric field. In which direction? Radially outward from this Q. What is radially outward from this Q? If this Q is the center of the circle or the sphere, and if this distance is the radius, then it will be like this. So away from the radius means it should be like this. So how big this vector should be? This vector should be of equal length as EB, because this Q and Q both are equal and C is located at equal distance. So therefore I write this EA like this. Now, so only two charges are available. Third is vacant. At vacant corner only we are calculating. Therefore we have shown two electric fields at point C. Now these two electric fields are not acting in the same direction. As this is an equilateral triangle, this angle should be 60 degree and this also will be 60 degree. Okay. Now, can I write it like this? Electric field at A equals to electric field at B. No, this is going to be a wrong expression. You can write this expression only when both electric fields are having equal magnitude and both of them are having the same direction. Now the magnitudes of EA and EB may be equal, but they are not pointing in the same direction. Then how should I correct this? You can correct it as EA magnitude must be equals to EB magnitude. This expression will be right. Is this clear? Right. So let us say as both magnitudes are equal, let me call it as say E. So therefore, net electric field at point C, EC equals to root over E square, one electric field, plus E square, another electric field, plus 2 into E into cos 60 degree. Where from you brought this equation? We brought this equation from vector concept only. Net electric field at a given point is the vectorial sum of electric fields due to individual charges. How do you take vectorial? Vectorial summation is like this only. A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta under root for two vectors A and B acting at an angle theta. So therefore, this will be cos 60 is 1 by 2 and here is 2. So these two can be cancelled. E into E will be what? E square. E square plus E square plus E square. You will get 3 E square under root. So root 3 into E. So this is root 3 into E. E is nothing but electric field. Electric field produced by what? Either B or A. Either EA or EB, which is nothing but what? E. That's why 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into charge magnitude, any one charge Q divided by distance, nothing but L square. So this is the answer. What is the net electric field at point C means? It is root 3 into 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by L square. So yesterday we have seen if you have another charge Q here. Yesterday we have done this. In fourth video lesson we have done this. If we have third charge Q at this vertex also, at this corner also, we calculated net electric field at centroid. There is no point in saying that three charges are placed at the three vertices and calculate the net electric field at any one vertex means question is meaningless. The point where you are calculating the electric field, there should not be any source charge. That should be completely vacant. You can extend this question to a square also. The square of side A, three equal charges are placed at the three corners of the square. Find the net electric field at the fourth corner. If not like this, you can say like this. In a square, 4 point charges are placed at the four vertices. Calculate the net electric field at the center of the square. That can be done. So the point where you are calculating net electric field, at that point there should not be any source charge. All electric fields should be calculated with respect to that point which is vacant. Right. Now, in this question, so the question was like this. Equilateral triangle of side L, two equal charges Q and Q are placed at the two vertices. What is the net electric field at the third vertex or vacant vertex? Right. Now what I do? I make this as minus Q. Plus Q is at vertex A, minus Q is at vertex B, and net electric field at point C is to be calculated. Now what will change? This plus Q being a positive charge will produce electric field in this direction only because it is radially outwards. But for minus Q at point C, electric field should be radially inwards. Radially inwards means minus Q is the center of the circle and L will be the radius. I draw a circle like this or a sphere like this. So radial inwards means it should be like this. So EB now will not be pointing towards right at point C. Point C. So this is my point C. So now it will be pointing like this. So this will be E due to B. Now, do these two vectors have equal magnitude? Yes, equal magnitude. Sir, but this is very far away from plus Q, this tip, this arrow. And this arrow is very close to B. How can these two will be equal? We are not seeing the ends of the vectors. We are seeing the origin of the vectors. That's what we state. If two vectors are represented as two adjacent sides of a parallelogram originating from the common point. So, they originate at equal distances. At L distance it is originating. Again at L distance it is originating. Therefore, these two will have equal magnitude. Now, E and EB earlier they were making 60 degree. Now the angle will change into what? 120 degree. Yesterday or day before yesterday's class we said that two equal vectors with 120 degree will produce a third vector which is having the magnitude either equal to EA or equal to BE. So now what will happen? This cos 60 now will become cos 120. This is E into cos 120 degree. Now cos 120 is minus half. So therefore, your electric field at point C will be E square plus E square plus this is 2E square into cos 120 is minus half. So now this 2 is cancelled. This will become minus E square. So one of the E square is cancelled. So you are left with only 1 E square under root. So this will be your E. So answer is E means 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0, magnitude of any one charge and a distance. This is your final expression. So if both of them are positive charges, it was root 3e, and if one of them is negative charge, it will become only e. So these type of problems are very, very important, maybe for your board examination or even for competitive examinations also. So let us start the applications of electric field here. That is principle of superposition. Now we will move ahead with another concept, that is nothing but electric field lines. Electric field lines. The idea of electric field lines is conceived by the scientist Michael Faraday. He said that electric field intensity, electric field magnitude, electric field strength not only can be calculated with the help of Coulomb's law using the formula 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q by r square, which is called mathematically it is calculated. It also can be calculated by figures. That pictorially it can be calculated. Okay. So what is electric field line? How do you actually conceive this idea means, you see here, you have a source charge here, let us call it as Q. Source charge. So which can produce electric field here, somewhere here, right? So here is electric field. Now I place a test charge which is called Q naught in the electric field, right? So then this Q naught will experience force due to this Q in this direction, and will it stop here? If the field is extending up to this level, then it will continue to move like this, but the force on it gradually will be decreasing, and finally when it reaches infinity, the force on this Q naught will be 0. So continuously this test charge will be moving, and this now I call it as a field line. Suppose same Q naught, instead of keeping over here, I am keeping here. Then what will happen? It will get a repulsion in this direction and continuously will move downwards. It will not move with the same force. It will not move with the same acceleration. Its acceleration will be gradually, force on this will be gradually decreasing. So therefore acceleration also will be gradually decreasing. Finally, it is going to stop. Right? Now, so what is this? This is also one of the field line. And if I place this Q naught here, what will happen? It will go like this. This is another field line. So how are you drawing these field lines? You have drawn magnetic field lines for a compass in class 10. There is a bar magnet, you are keeping on a white paper, and then a compass is moved from North Pole to South Pole. You are putting the 2 points on both the edges of the compass, and then you are completing the line. So as the compass moves, as the needle inside moves, you are tracing a line. Same thing. As Q naught is moving, you are tracing a line. So electric field is nothing but it is a trace of the path of the positive test charge. So electric field line is defined as the path followed by a positive test charge. So repeatedly, not necessary to write positive test charge. Even if you write simply test charge also, by convention we will understand that it is a positive test charge. So 3 lines I have drawn. I can draw so many lines like this which extend up to infinity. Here also this will extend up to infinity. This also will extend here also, here also, here also, like this. So how many can I draw like this? You can draw as many as possible. I have drawn some 10 lines and you can draw 20 lines. Some other can draw 30 lines. So anybody can draw depending on the magnitude of the charge. Now what is the thing important is here. You see these 3 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. So within this small area, the 4 lines are adjusted. Now the same 4 lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, they are adjusted in a big area. This gives an important concept like E equals 1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 into say Q by R square. electric field decreases as you move away from the charge. The same concept. Electric field is very strong here, electric field is weak here. Here also there are 4 lines, here also there are 4 lines. But 4 lines are diverged to a large area, here 4 lines are converging to a small area. So relative grouping of the electric field lines will indicate the electric field strength. So not necessarily that you should always use a mathematical formula to calculate electric field strength. You also can use the concept of electric field lines to determine the strength of the magnetic field. So near the source charge or around the source charge, if you find field lines are very much crowded, you can state that field is very strong there. And if they are maintaining a large resistance, they are departing away from each other, then you can say the field is decreasing. So this is the concept given by Michael Faraday regarding electric field lines. So what is electric field line means? It is nothing but the path followed by a positive test charge. Now here is we are all in the gravity. Earth creates a gravitational field. Now I drop this pen here. Then what will happen? It will move in a straight line in the downward direction. So I call it as if I am able to draw a line along this path, then I can call this line as a gravitational field line. But can I draw? No. So therefore, field lines are always imaginary. They do not exist in reality. But electric field is, in reality, it will exist. You can see the effect of electric field on some other charges. So remember this point, electric field is real and electric field lines are not real. They are purely imaginary. They give us an idea that what type of field available in a given area. Whether it is uniform electric field or non-uniform electric field, does it maintain any particular symmetry like radially diverging, radially converging, all that we are going to see now. Right. And moreover, like gravitational field, electric field is also conservative. Because of this conservative nature of electric field lines will have some specific or very significant properties. Now, pattern of electric field lines. Pattern of, let us say, field lines. First we will take Q greater than 0. What is Q? Q is the source charge. Its magnitude is greater than 0. That means it is called as a positive point charge. Positive point charge which is isolated from all other charges. It is existing only as a single charge in the system. So let me consider this. Here there is plus Q. This is my source charge. To draw the electric field line, how did I define it? The path followed by the positive test charge. So I want to draw the pattern of electric field lines for this source charge plus Q. So I should take the help of a positive test charge. So take a positive test charge and keep it very close to this plus Q, this Q naught, whose magnitude is tending to be 0. So because of this Q naught will have a repulsion in this direction and it will move. So shall I stop it here, sir? No, no need. You can continue. This line will run up to infinity. But we are just depicting what will be the symmetry of this electric field. That's why to some extent you draw it and stop it. Right? Now, so this Q naught is such a small charge that it will not create its own electric field. Rather, the electric field produced by Q naught is negligibly small. So, therefore, Q naught is there in the electric field of my source charge plus Q, and when I kept it here, it is moving in this direction. Therefore, this is my field line, electric field line. The same charge, if I keep it this side, it will go like this, and here it will go like this. If I keep this Q naught over here, it will come downwards. So like this, I can draw on both sides, like this. So how many I drew? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Only 8 lines? No, 16 can be there. Only 60, no, 32 can be there. Only 32, 64. Like this. So infinite number will be there. But whatever you draw, you see that these two are very close here. So electric field is strong. These two are departing from each other, diverging like this. The electric field in this direction will be gradually decreasing. Now, this field is maintaining a symmetry that is called radially diverging. So what is the what type of electric field is produced by a positive test charge which is isolated means it will produce radially diverging electric field. Now, I have another source charge which is minus Q, maybe having equal magnitude as that of plus Q. If this is plus 5 coulomb, this can be minus 5 coulomb. Now, this will produce an electric field around this. In such an electric field, I place a Q0 here, test charge. Then this is attracted towards this. It will come like this. Because electric field is radially inwards. So this is my field line for what? Minus Q. If I shift this Q0 to left side, then here is the Q0 and it will start moving like this. So if I keep at the bottom, it will move like this upwards. And if I keep on the top, it will move downwards. Like this. Both will have the same symmetry. But one thing is, this is diverging and this is what? Converging. Converging, they are coming close here. They are starting from somewhere from infinity. Where from they are starting? They are starting from infinity. Where they are ending? They are ending at infinity. So, starting from infinity and they are coming closer and closer. So, these two are closer. They started coming from infinity like this. So, this is called radially converging. Why radially? Because every field line is nothing but radius of a circle I draw. If I draw a circle like this, all of them will become radius. That's why this is given a special name, radially converging. Okay, right. Now, this is what first pattern. This is called second pattern. And this pattern is drawn for Q less than 0. This is negative point charge. Negative point charge which is isolated. No other charge is existing. That is the reason why they start from infinity and they end at infinity. This is possible only with isolation. Right. So, two patterns we have completed. We will see the third pattern. In the third pattern, we have, so this is 3. Source charge plus Q here, at some distance minus Q. Both of them are existing in the same system. Right? Now, this will produce electric field, this will produce electric field. The net charge on the system is going to be 0. The net charge on the system is going to be 0. But we have seen in the application of principle of superposition that though these two charges produce a 0 charge, net charge, but electric field produced by them is not 0. So therefore these two fields will not cancel now. Now, if I place Q0 here, very close to this one, it is repelled by this and attracted by this. So therefore, there is no other way. It has to run towards minus Q. So it is now starting from plus Q and it is going to minus Q. Starting from plus Q, ending at the minus Q, its journey. It will stop there. If I place Q0 here, what will happen? Because of this plus Q, it will be repelled like this. And if minus Q is not present, it would have gone like this. But minus Q is very much existing. So therefore it will try to pull it like this. At every point it will be trying to pull like this, like this, like this, like this. And this will be repelling like this, like this, like this. So now this charge has to mobilize two forces. Force of repulsion due to plus Q and force of repulsion due to minus Q. As a result, what will happen? This line will become a curved line. Let me draw this again. So here plus Q and here is minus Q. Of course, I am drawing very big, but it should be very small. So like this. Now, if I place Q0 over here, then I said it is repelled like this and it is attracted like this, then compromisingly it will move like this. It is a curved line. So electric field lines can be curved. You have seen in the first two cases electric field lines are straight lines. Is it true always? No, not necessary. Depending on the configuration of the charges available, it can be a straight line, it can be a curved line. Now, if I place same Q0 over here, what will happen? It will go like this. And here it will be like this. And here it will be like this. Here it will be like this. and here is lines. You can see that near the charges, the distance between the field lines is small, and along this line you can see that the distance between the field lines is increasing. Here you see, this is this much separation, this much separation. Here only small separation. That's why we said a property of the electric field lines that for a dipole, longitudinally they will converge, this is longitudinally, and laterally they will diverge. Divergence is because of the repulsion between the electric field lines. Right? Now, so another line also you can draw. This charge will, if I place Q0 here, what will happen? Will be repelled by this, like this. It will go like this, it will go like this, it will go like this, and it will come like this. If I place same Q0 over here, what will happen? It will be repelled like this, but it will be attracted. So it will go like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, and it will come over here. Similarly, it is like this. So electric field lines can be curved lines, but remember they are starting from plus Q and ending at minus Q, but they are not again starting from minus to plus Q. They cannot come in this direction. That is why electric field lines cannot be forming closed loops. Right. Now, fourth configuration, if you have got similar charges, say here is plus Q and here also plus Q, what will be the pattern? What will be the design of the electric field lines? Means Q0, if you place here, it will be repelled by plus Q, so it tries to move ahead like this. But at the same time, this plus Q also will be repelling this. What will happen? Slightly there will be a deviation. And if you place over here, it will go like this, and it will be like this, and it will be like this. You see, this entire plus Q and plus Q will make a system. The net charge in the system is not zero, but exactly at this point, the electric field is going to be zero. So it gives very surprising concepts. Electric field. Electric field in the middle of these two charges will be zero, though the net charge on the system is not equal to zero. Right? So you can draw as many lines as you want. So these are all the patterns. Like this. So if you keep here, it will go like this. Here also it will be like this. You can see this line. Oh, I'm sorry. This line should be like this. This line. So it is entering into minus Q, leaving plus Q. Leaving plus Q, leaving plus Q. The fourth one. So basing on this, we are going to now conclude the electric field lines by stating their properties. Some 4 to 5 properties have been enlisted as far as electric field lines are concerned. Number 1, electric fields start from positive charge and end at a negative charge.